Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. If you are new here, hey, my name is Brittany and I talk all things beauty here on my channel. And for today's video, I have the new blush from Danessa Myricks. So if you're curious on my thoughts on this blush, then please stick around for today's video. So this blush right here, first of all, it retails for $25 and I'm not mad about that price. This is called the, let's see, Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder Flush Blush. That's a mouthful. And I do have the shade Rosé in Brunch. It's just like the perfect rosy toned blush. Now this is not first impressions. I actually, as soon as Sephora delivered this, which it was like 1-day delivery, I'm like, excuse me, okay, I can get used to that. Anyways, I filmed a first impressions with this and unfortunately the footage got deleted. So I have been using this the past 2 days and I have got some thoughts on this blush. So if you're familiar with her Blurring Balm Powder Foundation, this is the same formula as to that foundation, which I love that foundation. It's really one of my holy grails. I've gone through 3 and I need to buy another one. But so as far as the price point goes, I just bought the new Charlotte Tilbury blushes, which those are $42. Ouch. I much prefer this price tag at $25. So I'm going to zoom you in. I'm going to swatch this and we can demo this on the face. So initially, whenever I saw this, I was honestly intimidated because it looks so deep. It made me a little nervous. And typically I reach for like an orange peachy blush, but I don't need 100 orange blushes. So I really wanted to get a fun rosy tone shade, but I'm just going to swatch it for you now because even though it looks really intimidating, it blends out and it can be very subtle, or you can build this baby up. So whenever you first put your finger into it, it just melts to the warmth of your finger. It's very creamy and it looks so yummy. Literally yummy skin, I know. Anyways, whenever you swatch it, it goes on like a cream blush would, and then as you start blending, you will notice that it starts to turn into more of a powder-like finish, just like the foundation. But you do have like a little bit of time, like it's not going to dry down immediately. You do have some wiggle room to get this how you want, but it's stunning, guys. Like this shade, typically, y'all know I don't reach for this kind of color, but I like it. I like it so much that honestly, eventually I would like to add one of the more orangey shades to my collection, but I'm ready to get this beauty on my face. So I've been just applying it with a brush, or not a brush, a sponge. I have also tried it with a brush. It did fine. I applied it with my fingers. It did fine as well. So my preferred method is just a sponge. And also, you could also use this as like a tint for your lips. So I'm just going to do that. Honestly, like I'm not into that. It's fine. It works. It's pretty. But I much prefer like a glossy look. But just for like a really pretty stain, it's fine. It does the job. It's cute. But yeah, typically that's not my jam. Okay, but I'm just going to go in like one time because like I said, it can get very pigmented very quickly, but honestly it blends out so easy. And honestly, creams and liquids intimidate me. I'm not like very talented when it comes to that. So if I can do this, you can do this. And this is a very foolproof formula, and that was just one dip. So I see this working for lots of different skin tones, and I'm just going back over it with like the part where my foundation was to kind of like calm it down. But you can build this up or make it very subtle for every day, which that's like perfect, you know. But typically on camera, I will go in like really intensely with my blush so you can see the true color. And if you get too much, just tap it off on your hand. And as you can see, it's foolproof. It's very easy. And also, I wanted to note that this applies very beautifully on top of powders. Typically, I don't do that. I hardly ever powder my face, but if that's something that you wanted to note, that you can mix this with powders. It can be worn underneath powders or on top, and it's not going to disturb anything, separate, lift. It's that simple, which I love. So this is what it looks like applied to both of my cheeks. I know it's not a long video today, but I really, because of how amazing this formula is, it was so important to me to film this again, and I'm just going to stay positive about it. But the one thing about this blush that I find it so unique and different compared to my drawer full of blushes is that this formulation, obviously it goes on creamy and then it dries down to like a powder, so I do like that aspect. But the number one thing I like about this blush, it's blurring. And I'm not going to say it like it gets rid of your pores, but it does have a nice blurring effect to it, and also doesn't dry down to like a solid matte. Like as you can see, it's still a pretty healthy look to the skin without being like a flat matte, but yet it does dry down, so it doesn't feel wet, it doesn't feel tacky, sticky. It feels weightless, so that is very important to me, and I think that that is what separates this from a lot of my cream and liquid blushes. Sometimes they don't like melt into the skin and you can just kind of like feel them throughout the day. Maybe your hair will kind of like stick to it. It doesn't do this with that product, which that's kind of what separates it in my mind. It's blurring and it dries down without looking flat matte, and it doesn't dry my skin out. I have lots of texture, and honestly I think it looks fine on top of it. So you're going to have to let me know, are you going to pick up this blush? I'm really like here for that price point, because whenever you get into like, you know, Sephora, sometimes blushes can just be so outrageous. So I know 25 isn't like a drugstore by any means, but the formulation on this blush, I can kind of justify it more. And also like this is one where I might wait till like the Sephora VIB sale and snag an orange one, because I like the formula so much. But anyways guys, that's going to do it for today's video. I love this blush. I've been testing out. This is actually going to be my third day testing it. And you're going to have to let me know. Are you going to pick it up or are you going to be shopping your stash? But this blush, like, she knows what she's doing. And I do hope to see maybe some highlighters come from this formulation, some bronzers. Honestly, anything, I'm here for it because of the blurring aspect and how it dries down without making your skin look dull. So that's going to do it for today's video. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you're doing well. I hope that you are healthy, happy, and safe. Stay beautiful. Bye guys.